facts. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. Happy sober Thursday afternoon. Man, a lot of things going on. A lot of things. Just saw some good news. It's called CAR, which is the Colorado Advisory of Recovery Residents. And what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to keep the sober livings accountable. And they did nothing of the such. They took kickbacks. They committed fraud. They did a lot of bullshit. And that's just more money that's going to be taken that is going to be taken, right? But it's good because now they cannot abuse that money. They're going to have to go do something else. This is what we're talking about. These are the pains of growth. Sometimes you got to level the playing field first. That's the way it goes. Also, I would suggest being careful on tagging me in a post. I had a friend that did it earlier. It was political. They said it, and I wrote something about it. No, don't fuck around with the 12 steps in front of me. Yeah, not a good idea. Yeah, they said it wasn't political, but everybody else posting they were being all political. It was political. We're talking about warfare. I'm even happy to show it to you. Let's do that. Because this is a part of how we help. So let's go look at this. And don't get take it wrong, this person is my friend. Maybe that isn't what they wanted, but it's what they got. So this one guy, I don't know who it is, he's asking RFK, you credited the 12 steps in your recovery. Do you remember step 12? We try and help other addicts. Does cutting off treatment for people suffering align with 12th step? You can see what I wrote right there. I said, I'm presuming that I was tagged to give my take on it. First, to me, this is not a political post, so I'll not be going there. I do not think a lot of people know of the abuse in the recovery service field. I have so much proof of abuse here in Colorado, it sickens me. Before I get into that, though, let's take a look at this very uninformed person who thinks it's okay to take one little part of the 12-step program and use it against someone for hate. NA has no say on outside issues and should never be brought into public controversy. In fact, AA has helped more addicts than all other programs combined. I am tired of the blatant abuse of our system. In Colorado, our AG literally endorses people who have committed Medicaid fraud, and he knows it. The kickbacks on sober livings is huge, and the system is set up for major body brokering. So we take the money away, and they cannot abuse it. If your concerns is more about hating RFK and not about your community, then you are just angry, have no concern for others. I think this is a horrible post and full of misinformation and hate against the 12-step program that will probably one day save the life of someone you love. There should be no competition in recovery services ever. Yet I see ads all day long to promote treatment centers that just lump addiction, alcoholism, mental health into one area, and that is very dangerous. We're tired of recovery being big business, and the government needs to get out. In fact, at least in Colorado, the resources for recovery lead straight to those that abuse others. This is my take, and I will not sit here and argue my point. Yet, if you have questions that are legitimate, I am more than happy to answer anything that I can. I've worked in this field for close to 30 years, and now I've seen what works and what does not. And my friend said, and this is legitimate, I tagged you because I wanted you to see it. No agenda or politics. I simply thought you might find it interesting. And I'm like, I did find it interesting. But what is there to be interested about? What is the interesting part? They didn't read what I wrote. All right, let's get to it. Amber's here, so we can go ahead and get started now. Now that Amber is here, we can go ahead and get started. Now somebody's here, huh? Welcome, Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm your host. I'm ethanol challenged. I stole that from Robin Williams. I've been using it lately sparingly. I've been used that at a meeting a couple of times, but I don't want to use it to be terminally unique. Right? I don't want to use it to be terminally unique. You got to be careful about that. All right. June 1st. Yeah. Okay. So, hi, Michelle. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, this is also something that, now I put in there how we can help others get sober. I can't actually get somebody sober. And that's kind of that's the problem that I see a lot. People are running around thinking they can get other people sober, when really they didn't even get themselves sober. I don't care if you believe in God or not. God's the one that got you sober. I don't care if you believe it or not. I don't. See, God loves you so much, you don't need to believe in him for him to help you. No. You asked for help. He gave it to you. May not even have noticed it or anything. I can see it, though. I can see it. Where does all recovery start? All recovery. Okay, let's not go with all and do the all nothing thing. 98%. There, I'll give 2% to the professionals. Okay, and I'm being nice. All recovery starts with one recovered alcoholic working with another. That's it. That's where it starts, always. In fact, the whole program's based on it. Okay. AA helps more alcoholics than all of them combined. All of them, including the millions of stupid fucking recovery coaches and sober people we have now. We know alcohol is bad for you, but you don't have to start a whole group and just go out with a set of sober friends. I mean, you're pushing the line there. I understand if you're sober curious, you don't want to use alcohol anymore. But for some of us, this is a life or death thing. Some people can go play around with it. That's fine. They don't have the same consequences as we do. They're not going to have the same consequences, period. We have different consequences. Right? So it all starts with one alcoholic sitting down with another alcoholic, explaining their experience, strength, and hope to them. Any other way is most likely going to fail. We've tried all these ways. There's 100 different ways right now. No, there is not. A lot of people, what will an alcoholic do when they don't want to do the steps? They will always look for the easier, softer way. Always. And they will think they are right because they refuse to listen or learn from the past mistakes of others. That is alcoholic behavior. I tell you now, I've had a great joy these last 6 months watching everybody shut down their recovery services in Colorado. I know I sound like a dick when I say that. Because they're abusing and they're killing people. Now we can get these people to AA and get them some real fucking help. Some legitimate fucking help. Hey? Do we need the professionals? Yes. After the 12 steps are done. Maybe before. Who knows? All right. I'm kind of preachy. Who is this? You're kidding me. You're kidding me. Who is this? Do you? That was my sponsee that was supposed to meet me at noon. And they were supposed to let me know that we were meeting, what time today. And they write back, who is this? Fuck. Okay. So we're going to go to working with others because we're going to utilize the big book. I will try not to be so preachy. Sometimes I get preachy, put a little anger in there, and I say stupid shit sometimes. So I will be careful on that. I don't want to be judgmental of anybody else. We all have our ways, okay? But anything short of God just isn't going to work, man. Anything short of higher power, it isn't going to work. Our best minds, including Jung and Freud and every single one, will tell you that an alcoholic needs a spiritual experience or they're doomed. Otherwise, you will be a little boy whistling in the dark, and boy, do I see a lot of them. I'll tell you how you tell the difference. Look into their eyeballs, man. Look for the sincerity. Listen for it. Listen to your intuition. You know when you're being sold. All right. Practical experience shows that nothing will so much ensure immunity from drinking as intensive work with other alcoholics. It works when other activities fail. This is our 12th suggestion. Carry this message to other alcoholics. You can help when no one else can. You can secure their confidence when others fail. Remember, they are very ill. Now I'm going to go into this a little bit more. Okay. Actually, let's go ahead and read it. But I'm not going to cover some of it when we get to the juicy part. Life will take on new meaning. To watch people recover, to see them help others, to watch loneliness vanish. Right? Now, this is going to happen in a few areas. It can happen in a 12th step group. Celebrate recovery. Smart recovery, not so much. They don't pass it on like we do. They have owners and people that do the teaching, and you have to be certified and stuff. But smart recovery does seem to work. I'll give it that. Okay. But without it being an altruistic movement, which means that you are asking for nothing in return, you will not get these promises. You might get some of them, but if you're being paid to do it, then you already got your reward. And it came in cash. You already got your reward. Why should God give you another gift? You got exactly what you were going for, the money. Money and spirituality do not mix. They don't mix. Sometimes we utilize money to get to spirituality, but that's as close as it's going to come. Right? But none of this will happen unless you do it altruistically. All right. To watch loneliness vanish, to see a fellowship grow up about you, to have a host of friends. This is an experience you must not miss. We know you will not want to miss it. Frequent contact with newcomers and with each other is the bright spot of our lives. See, now I talked about the programs earlier shutting down. Why is this good? Why do I find this to be good? Because it's getting rid of the red tape that they put up. I mean, it sucks that we got to cut through red tape to even get to somebody to help them. Yeah, it's a bummer. Right? Blocking us from the 12th. They are blocking us from this. See, they didn't stick in the program because this didn't fucking happen because they couldn't fucking 12th step because the government stands in the fucking way. But they used to let us into detoxes and treatment centers and all these different places. Now the professionals want to do it all by themselves because the recovery coaches came along with all their unethical bullshit and pulled a bunch of shit. Now they don't trust a one of us, And can you blame them? Thanks, recovery coach. It's such a great thing you did for us in your unhealed alcoholism. Thanks for ruining it for us in the last 5 years. That was so kind of you. People don't trust AA anymore because of that. And it's not AA. But they ran around and touted like it was. Gee, it was okay for them to be an AA member if it meant a paycheck. It won't work. You are not going to get the satisfactions. You are not going to get the ease and comfort that comes at once by taking a few drinks. You won't be allowed to have that. And I can tell, right? Like when we tagged Dion to something silly, I'm an opinionated person. And I gave my opinion. And I tell you now, nobody's going to argue with me. Well, they might. But I did put in there, I'm not going to argue my point. But if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. I am. I take this shit seriously, man. All right. Perhaps you're not acquainted with any drinkers who want to recover. You can easily find some. You used to be able to. That's what's kind of changed. A few doctors, ministers, priests, or hospitals, they will only be too glad to assist you. Don't start out as an evangelist or reformer. Unfortunately, a lot of prejudice still exists. Still. In fact, if anything, it might be a little worse. The mushroom peddlers might. Yeah, Amber. All right. So why are they telling us not to be an evangelist or reformer? Because that's the mistake they made in the beginning. Bill W. had to be quashed a little bit. He had to be put down to right size by Dr. Silkworth a few times. It's just the natural reaction of an alcoholic who gets sober and has found the answer. We want to scream it from the rooftops. This can be dangerous also if you don't know what you're talking about yet. Then you'll just go off on your own little tangent thinking you know what's best. You best be careful. Okay? We're dealing with life or death, and misinformation in recovery has the power to kill. Got to be very careful. Who is this? It's your fucking sponsor. God, that just fucking irritates me. Sorry. Okay. Oh, and Bill's wife. Yeah, I'm sure she slapped him around a few times too. Thank God for Lois. Thank you, Lois. Thank you, Lois, for keeping Bill in line for us. We appreciate that. And we're laughing because it's true. Ever says almost killed me. Yeah. I went to detox for 2 years asking for help. Do you know how many people helped me? I can show you with one hand. 0. None. I walked into AA for 2 years begging for help, raising my hand saying I needed a sponsor. You know how many people fucking helped me in 2 years? 0. That's the problem I fucking have nowadays. That's why Grassroots says who here's looking for a sponsor. So that way the new person that's coming in can actually hear the right thing. This shit's killing us. Almost killed me. If I wouldn't have had the knowledge that I did about Alcoholics Anonymous, I would not have made it. AA would have killed me. So yeah, I got a fucking problem with it. And I love AA. Don't get me wrong, I love AA. But if I wouldn't have known the people in that room, they didn't do me a lick of good. Until somebody had the nerve, the balls to walk up to me and say, Dion, you need God in your life. I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to be your sponsor. I would have been waiting on that for 2 years. See, AA changed and I couldn't hear it. My ears were full of water and shit. I literally couldn't hear it. And I thought they were saying, is anybody here need a sponsor? And I'm raising my hand when they're over there saying, is anybody here willing to sponsor this dumbass over here who keeps putting his hand up thinking he's ready to sponsor? They must have thought I was nuts But no, I wasn't nuts. They were. I'm tired of the laziness in AA and shit. Letting people flounder around, just sit there and fucking continue being sick while we go out and live our best lives, go do whatever we want, whatever. You're not going to be able to keep the precious gift unless you give it away, unless you listen to that intuition and go approach that person and say, hey, I see the willingness in you. Find reasons to find willingness. Find reasons to say yes. Right? All right. You'll be greatly handicapped if you arouse that ministers and doctors are competent, and you can learn much from them if you wish. But it happens that because of your own drinking experience, you can be uniquely useful to other alcoholics. So cooperate, never criticize. To be helpful is our only aim. It's my only aim. And it is my only aim because I don't have any other bullshit that I need to bring with it. I've been freed of that. It has been taken from me. I have settled my past. And once I settle my past, I get to use it for gold for other people. I get to use it for gold for other people. All right. When you discover a prospect for Alcoholics Anonymous, find out all you can about him. If he does not want to stop drinking, do not waste your time trying to persuade him. You may spoil a later opportunity. This advice is given for his family also. They should be patient, realizing they are dealing with a sick person. There's no reason to piss the person off. You're going to kind of want to, though. I know I usually like, what? You know, but if they're not ready, at the same time, if you run into me and I get a chance to try, I'm going to take it. When I worked in detox in the 90s, there was this one guy, I'm going to call him Fred because I don't remember his name. Fred was what we call a frequent flyer. He was there a lot. And none of the counselors liked to take him. Yes, counselor. I was a drug and alcohol counselor at this time. Okay. All right. So I think it was second, third time, probably the third time. But he kept saying he had that line. I'm not willing, is what he would say. That was his defense. I'm just not willing. He knew the words. Well, I didn't buy that shit, man. I mean, I heard what he was saying. And the third time he was there, I'm presuming it was the third time. It was within 5, I can tell you that. I don't, Fred, I understand that you're not willing, but my job here is to provide you with what you need to live a better life, man. That's my job here. And you interfere with it. This place is full. You're here every week filling up my place when I could be helping people. But you're using my bed right now because you want to keep doing what you're doing. Well, I'm not coming back. Okay, you're not coming back. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. You'll be back here. We all know that. Oh, no, I won't. Fine. Okay. Well, let's do this. We're going to do a contract. And it's going to say if Fred is back at Washington House Detox within the next week, he will go upstairs to the STIRT program. I said, you sign me that and I'll believe, and I'll start to try and believe you. But I need a contract, which, by the way, was not legally binding. It was nothing. We both signed it. He came back and he went to treatment. And I never saw him again. Did treatment work? I don't know. Maybe he moved out of state. Maybe this, maybe that. I don't know what happened. But I do know that I never saw him again. And when you're a counselor working at a detox, that's a good thing. All right. But in the most cases, you don't want to really push it. In this case, see, I was working as an AA member. I probably would not have done that. I don't think I would do that. Right? So, because as an AA member, what I'm going to say is, if it changes, here's my phone number. Feel free to give me a call. No judgment, man. Best of luck to you. Thanks for your 10 minutes. I appreciate it. But what the first thing that we need to do is we need to ask questions. And just ask normal questions. Where did you grow up? Oh, you grew up here? Wow, cool. Where'd you go to high school? Okay, yeah, I went to this high school. Oh, we were enemies, man. Oh, but we all hate this one school. And see, and you make little connections. When did you start drinking? Here's one thing that you're going to need to know. Who is most important to them? If it is a man, it is most likely whoever they are going out with at the time, the wife or the mother. Or the mother. If it's a girl, it's going to be her dad, maybe an uncle, but it's going to probably be somebody of the opposite sex. It's how alcoholics work. Talk to any alcoholic that comes walking into the program. If they're female, they'll say, I get along with males better. If they're male, they say, I get along with females better. Almost every time. Why are you going to need to know who this person is? Because we're going to use them for accountability. You want to know the best gift I ever gave my mommy? And I say mommy because I want them to feel fucking 8 years old again. So I say mommy. Getting sober. Now she doesn't need to worry about whether she's going to get that fucking phone call. And I swear too, I lower my voice and I lay the boom. The best gift I ever gave my mommy was sobriety, because now she doesn't have to sit up all night wondering whether I'm dead in a ditch, waiting for that phone call, or even worse, that I'm in jail because I killed somebody else's child. Now, I get to say that because I'm a recovered alcoholic. I get to say that. I've worked past it. Oh, yeah. Because I have noticed, and this is just educational for me, I've noticed that almost every alcoholic gets sober when they find out how much they are hurting the people that they love, even though they were drinking in seclusion. We tend to think that just because we drink alone, which is the number one reason, which is a number one indicator that you're alcoholic, by the way, drinking alone. I don't care who you are. You come home, have a glass of wine all by yourself. There's a great indicator that you're an alcoholic. Because for most normal folks, drinking means conviviality, companionship, colorful imagination, but not for alcoholics. Big difference, right? If there's any indication that he wants to stop, have a good talk with the person most interested in him. You're probably not going to be able to do this. That's why you got to ask them. Usually the wife. Get an idea of his behavior, his problems, his background, the seriousness of his conditions, and his religious leanings. You need this information to put yourself in his place. What are we saying? We meet people where they're at. It doesn't work any other way. Which is, I can take right back to sponsorship. Am I willing to sponsor? Yeah, of course I'm willing to sponsor. I've got sponsees. But am I meeting somebody where they are at when I make them approach me to ask me to be their sponsor? No, I'm not. In fact, what I'm doing is I'm actually avoiding it. I'm putting myself, that's how I feel, by the way. Might be different for you, and that's okay. I'm just letting you know how I feel about it. I feel like what that does is it makes me superior to them. It is an ego trip. The worst thing I could ever hear in a meeting is, nobody ever asked me to sponsor. That's because it's not how it fucking works. Nowhere in here does it say, wait, sit on your laurels, rest on your laurels, and wait for somebody to ask you to sponsor. But gosh, there's a whole chapter on how to find a sponsee. we're sitting here reading it. I'm not sure why the change was made. I wasn't there, so. Oh, shit, I got to kind of wrap this up. Sometimes it is wise to wait till he goes on a bench. The family may object to this, but unless he is in a dangerous physical condition, it is better to risk it. I know it sounds mean, but we're going to kick you while you're down. We're going to kick you while you're down. It's going to be with love, as much love as we can. Okay? It just means that we are going to give you the proof. We're a walking example of your old behavior that we have recovered from. Don't deal with him when he is very drunk. No. Unless he is ugly and the family needs your help. That's usually left best to the police, by the way. Wait for the end of the spree, or at least for a lucid interval. Then let his family or friend ask him if he wants to quit for good and if he would go to any extreme to do so. If he says yes, then his attention should be drawn to you as a person who has recovered. You should be described to him as one of the fellowship who will be a part of their own recovery, try to help others, and who will be glad to him if he cares to see you. We're gonna do one more. We're gonna do one more paragraph here, and then I gotta wrap it up. I didn't time this very well. I've got another sponsor yet too. So, if he does not want to see you, never force yourself upon him. Neither should the family hysterically plead with him to do anything, nor should they tell him much about you. They should wait for the end of his next drinking bout. You might place this book where he can see it in the interval. Here, no specific rule can be given. The family must decide these things, but urge them not to be over anxious, for that might spoil matters. Now, there is one part in here that I do kind of want to cover, and it's the spirituality of the program. It's not a secret anymore of what AA kind of is, but everybody tends to think we're a religious program. So this is how I do it. Okay, there's no right or wrong answer here. I just need to know this in order to help you the best that I know how. How do you feel about God? And then shut the fuck up. At this point, you need to shut your mouth, because whoever speaks next loses. And this is a fight for their confidence, for their trust. So don't insert your own stuff. Just nod, smile, and be nice. Right? This one actually going to show? Yes, it is. Oh, has it not been posting it? I'm sorry, honey. Let's see if, yeah, it's not. I don't know why they do that. Arg. So I'm presuming that you've been posting and it's not saying anything. It's not posting. I'm sorry. I tell you now, I'm not regulating it. I know that, because I probably would have enjoyed and laughed at what you said. Well, feel free to write it to me directly if you want to, Amber. If you're still, you know, sometimes I do this stuff, I get people kind of hot and heavy and into it, and they have things to say too. So, right. But you're going to want to know where they're at with God, so you know how to approach. Right. But the main thing is this: we always meet them where they're at. Always. It's not going to work any other way. If we don't, then we are not all being altruistic. It means we want something or need something from this person. All right. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and have a day.